Yo, let's get the business.
Let's get the business. I'm back at it. I appreciate all the subscribers. Check into the clothing company I got going on. I got a bunch of the links. It'll be in the description whenever I get done with this. So tap into that, man. I appreciate everybody tuning in. I'm gonna have beautiful, incredible content on a regular basis. It's gonna be consistent behind this. So thank you all. I appreciate you all for tapping in with me. Continue to do so. But yo, I'm back at it. Let's get the business. What we have here is a wonderful artist, an author by the name of Lara. I remember her playing basketball back in the day. You don't want the jump shot. I'm telling you, hey, she was like Caitlin Clark out there with mid-range.
I wish.
I remember that. You remember? Yeah.
I remember.
Man, but so I knew she was talented then. And she was giving people the business on that court. But she has a unique style, bright spirit, collective, and very talented. She's a consultant, a spirit life coach, healthy energy alignment, a book author, a content creator, an educator, former educator, and still is, intellectual entrepreneur, creative and very classy. She graduated from Bellarmine University. Is that correct?
That's correct.
From part of the Jefferson County Educational Circle, formerly, which, you're clearly a big supporter of educator burnout, a teacher of administrator burnout, an advocate of fighting against the overwhelmed pocket within the workforce. She's all about positive vibes, healthy atmosphere. She comes in with a bright, shiny atmosphere. It's very healthy. So let's get the business. I'm excited and thrilled about this. I'm in the books. I love it. I was infatuated with certain type of books, like Goosebumps and all the Ramona the Pest and all that type of stuff. But this is incredible. So take us down the whole of creativity. So when did you first visualize yourself being the author of a book?
Honestly, during COVID. So I think that's when everybody was like starting a podcast, and
absolutely.
I started a podcast. And the person I started it with, Jill Hanley, she and I, as we were going through that creative process, had talked about writing a book. And it didn't come into fruition then, but it has been a labor of love for the last 2 years.
Nice. So COVID, it's what an interesting situation that was. You know what I mean? It did. You're right. It brought out a lot of creative minds, creative thinkers, business thinkers, whipping it up. You know what I mean? So that's sure. Cool. That's pretty cool. That was a good time to do it too.
It was.
Because everybody was sharing ideas with each other. So that was a good way to network too at the time.
Yeah. And everybody was at home. So I think everybody was trying to find something to do. And it was a great time to tap into creativity.
Absolutely. I wrote a lot of music, I remember during that. So nice. So the new book title, talk heavy on this. Take us into your world. This title is What Can I Take Off Your Plate? A Structured and Sustainable Approach to Countering Teacher Burnout by Lara Donnelly and Jill Hanley.
So Jill was the principal of the school that I worked at for 13 years.
Okay.
We worked together for that long, and we had a really high teacher retention. So there weren't a lot of people that were leaving. If they did leave, it was because they were moving, or they needed to be closer to home because of their kids, or something of that nature. So we started really kind of diving into why that was, and most of it is culture. Historically, when people talk about burnout and teacher burnout, it's like, what can the teacher do for themselves?
Yes.
And I think so many teachers are sick of hearing like, go light a candle or take a bath and you'll be fine. Go get a drink after work, whatever it is, because that's not going to fix it. So this is like, how can administrators help support and eliminate teacher burnout?
It's very interesting. That's a good point too. Everybody has the answer. The outsiders always have the answer, right?
Yeah.
But you gotta do this. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's very interesting. And I need my own personal copy, by the way. People, you need to get yours quick before they run out, because it's big business. It's going down. They're getting them quick. So where's this book available?
Through the publishing company. It's ASCD. It's an international educational company, but it's also on Amazon. So in Barnes & Noble, anywhere that you would buy a typical book.
Yeah, for you Amazon shoppers, easy, accessible.
Yes.
You know what you're doing with that. So hey, go get it on Amazon. It's called "What Can I Take Off Your Plate?" It sounds like a very stress-free title is what I love about it. What can I take off your plate? It's like a label of selflessness, not selfishness. What can I take off your plate?
Yeah. So I think more than ever before, teachers are being asked to do more and more and more, and they're not really having any less responsibility. So it's about really strategically setting up a school day so that administrators can help support that workload.
And so that was the biggest inspiration behind the development of the book, basically based off your own experiences being an educator.
Yeah. So the book is practitioner based. We both, Jill and I both love to do research, but that's not what this book is. Like if you're looking for heavy research, this isn't it.
This is not a boring research book.
No, this is like practitioner. What did we do? What have we tried? These are tried and true strategies.
Trial and error.
Yeah.
And how you learn to bounce back from it. So it's going to take you down that hole of her experiences. Basically, it's based off real experience. And that's what I love about it most. When you read a book, or when I read a book, or when I, watch a movie or documentary, it's that much more interesting whenever the content and the intent of it is real, and it comes from a real place and a real story.
Right.
So I love that aspect of it. The title sounds wonderful. So, and this book is, of course, published.
It is. It just was published in August. So I think it was released like August 25th. And some of my friends and families that ordered on Amazon have started to get their copies. So the turnaround time is a lot quicker now.
Yeah. Look for the authors, Lara Donnelly. Yes. And of course, Jill Hanley. Both those two played a part in it. So look for those titles. Look for that title. Look for these authors. It's going down in a major way. Go on Amazon. Just you Amazon people, y'all stay on Amazon.
Yeah, always.
So expect it. It'll be on your porch in a little box or something. Grab it. Let's get it. So as far as distribution, did you all collaborate with anyone else with the masterpiece, or is that basically? I love Amazon. I love that availability. I love that. So that's enough for me.
Yeah. So we had a publishing company. We present with them a lot. They host a lot of international conferences, and they approached us at one of our sessions and were like, "Hey, do you want to write a book about this?" And we're like, "Funny story. We were going to do that anyways." They have been great in terms of editing and marketing, and really far exceeded our expectations. But there's so many avenues. If you're looking to write a book, it doesn't necessarily have to be with a publishing company.
Absolutely. So many independent avenues that you take through it. That's a good point. And so talk about the life coach. You do your own personal sit downs, to my understanding. Is that correct?
That's correct. So I was a counselor for 10 years. I taught kids with emotional behavior disorders for 3 when I first started teaching. But honestly, I found that I loved working with adults, sitting down and working with adults. But I like to work like an athlete being coached, like really fast, quick, meaningful sessions.
Okay.
Not necessarily. So I didn't necessarily go into being a therapist because that seems to be more long term. I'm looking for like, how can we get you on your way quickly?
It sounds like you're more highlighted than a therapist would be. I feel like you're more upbeat, more up-driven, and your spirit's more uplifted. Therapy can be sometimes a little draining, a little, boring, to some degree. Nothing against you therapists.
Right. And I'm all about therapy, but there's a difference. It's just,
it's different.
Yeah. I'm not dealing with like significant mental health issues. It's more about like, what are your goals and how can I help you get there?
Awesome. So thank you for differentiating that. Because, people do maybe get that a little bit confused, especially with the mental health levels. And people consume information differently sometimes. So have you ever thought about releasing the audiobook version?
You're the second person that's asked me that this week. And it's funny. I talked to my co-author about that 2 days ago because somebody had just asked me.
Oh, I'm right on point with it.
You are right on point. So we're not sure how that works with the publishing company, but we're going to be at a conference next week in Nashville with the publishing company. So we're going to ask and just find out, because we're definitely interested in having that audio version.
Nice.
Because let's be real, educators don't always have a ton of time. And if we're wanting people in the education field to consume it, what's the best chance that they're going to be able to do that? Probably in the car while they're on their way to work.
Direct consumer.
Yeah.
And people, they're on it right now. That's how, people consume that information differently. Yeah, and at different times, like you said, on the car, on the go.
Yeah.
So that's well put right there. And of course, this book is relatable towards multiple genres, ethnicities. It doesn't matter, on all levels. That's what I want to point out. It's great. It's transparent. So make sure you tap into this. Get you a copy. Get you 2 copies, 3. Tell a friend. Tell a friend.
Get one for a friend. Yeah.
Yeah. So you also have your own workspace at the location. Is it Violet Moon, where you're doing life coaching sessions and have available products? So how long have you been in that space?
A little over a year. I've been in that space for a little over a year. And I do, for people who don't live in Kentucky, I do Zoom sessions, live coaching sessions. Yeah. So it doesn't have to be in person. But yeah, when it is, that's where I'm working.
I'm glad you threw that out there. Some people I got, potentially coming up to my platform, they're like, do I have to be physically there? Yeah. And I'm like, maybe I can make some adjustments. Yep. Do the Zoom quick. Yep. So nice. And that place sounds colorful, sounds creative. So that was nice. I had to implement that. What type of products do you distribute throughout that establishment?
It's funny because I said earlier, teachers don't want to hear one more time to take a bath or light a candle. But personally, I love those things. Not for burnout. That's not going to fix your burnout.
Hey, I love candles. And baths sometimes.
So I make custom bath salts. So I've made some custom for Halloween, like with blood oranges, just fun stuff for the holidays. But I make some consistent ones with like Himalayan sea salt and Epsom salt, things that like really help your muscles relax and give you that good relaxing energy.
A lot of people need that, especially after I had surgery. Man, my muscles are really tight. Whew. So a lot of people can bring use from that. Athletes. Blue collar workers, hard workers, you all tap in and get some of these products. Those sound interesting. I may need to check out some of that right now. I should have
brought some.
Yeah, I need that. So I'm relaxing the muscles and So I'm gonna get petty with this one: iPhone or Android, and I know what team you're rocking with now.
Always iPhone.
I know we loved it for a reason. It's gonna be a great day today. Team iPhone, come on over here with us.
Always.
Come on over.
I know people get Androids or whatever, and they're like, the water's nice over here. I'm like, it's not.
No, it's not. It's dirty. It's got algae in it. Come on over here. Stop being confused. Don't be weird. So nice. Team iPhone. When you're on the road and you're traveling, would you prefer a hotel or an Airbnb?
Oof. It depends on where I'm going. I'm kind of split in the middle. So if it's a place that doesn't have a ton of hotel options, like the mountains or something, I'm an Airbnb girl all day long. But if I'm in a city, I want to be in a hotel.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Very well put. Location is everything. Some people are like, I don't like the Airbnbs. There's no telling where I'm going to end up at. You know what I mean?
This is a true story.
Location.
So Brandon Dedrick.
Yeah. Shout out to Brandon.
Shout out to Brandon.
Big dog.
I went to his wedding in Florida. And 2 or 3, actually, Jill went with me.
Okay.
We rented an Airbnb. It was my first time. 2 or 3 years later, my sister sent me this article, and she's like, "You're not going to believe this. This Airbnb got busted in Florida for having cameras in the room."
Wow.
Guess where that Airbnb was?
Right there where y'all was at?
The one that I rented.
The same one?
The same one.
Oh, my, that's a scary.
That I rented.
Wow.
The first one I ever rented, and it was the sketchiest one too. So I learned a lot of lessons.
That is incredible right there. And
yeah.
Luckily they caught on to it at that time, and you know what I mean? Wow. That's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah, no. Nice. So I can see our location is everything.
Yeah. Not nice.
I'm glad you made it out of that situation.
Yeah, same.
That's all. I'm talking about a book. That's a book and a movie.
Seriously.
So to my understanding, people are able to book a session with you, provided healthy tools. How can they go about consulting a one-on-one session with you, Lara Donnelly?
That's a good question. Honestly, I have a website. Most of my website is geared towards educators in burnout. However,
Awesome.
if you go to my Instagram, DM me. I have a link tree in there that outlines all of my services, and will take you directly to a schedule that can book it too. So
Awesome.
either way, but if you have like a need that's not necessarily on my schedule, DMing me is the best way.
Instagram
at Lara Donnelly Coaching.
Lara Donnelly Coaching. Talk heavy. Go follow her. And like she said, she's easily accessible. You can DM. You can go through email. You got email?
I do, which is oof.
I got about 1,000 emails.
I do. And the one that goes to that account is support@laracdonnelly.com.
Nice. Easy. Yeah. Easy peasy. And of course, your sessions and guidance focus on educator burnout, but can also be applied within multiple levels of life. Life can get heavy, stressful, overwhelming for parents, blue-collar workers, and all sorts of citizens. So to me, that's wonderful. It reaches a multitude of different people, right?
Yeah. So my focus was on educators because I was in education, but honestly, I see a little bit of everybody. It's not just educators. So if there's if there's a goal, if you're struggling to get to that next step, whatever it is, reach out and we can see how we can work together.
Awesome. Like you said, don't hold back. Contact Lara Donnelly ASAP. Do you have a top 5 favorite authors of all time? Got to get real petty with you real quick.
Top 5 authors. Barbara Kingsolver is a good one.
Talk heavy.
Honestly, I love all of Cornel West stuff.
Okay. You're putting me on the ones. Take me into your world. What, Cornel Wester?
Cornel West.
Cornel West?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Talk heavy.
Trying to think of who else. What have I read recently? I love a lot of Jim Fortin stuff. He's kind of like a transformational leader. He's been one of my coaches, so I love all of his work.
You can definitely relate to that.
Yeah. And then, gosh, who else? I love all of Deepak Chopra's books. Yeah.
You heard of Rupi Kaur? Is that the name?
Yeah. I like a lot of that.
Author of Milk and Honey?
Yes.
Is that correct? Yeah. Colleen Hoover?
I know that name. I don't know if I know any of her work.
How about award-winning books? Do you have a favorite, like, award-winning? Not that deep into it yet?
Well, most of the books that I read are more into, like, the transforming self-growth. So I would say...
Progression.
There's this book called, it's probably, I would say it's got awards. It's called, oh no, I can't think of it. It's by Don Miguel Ruiz. I recommend this book to everybody and I can't think of it.
That's how it is.
Yeah.
Remember we used to make CD lists?
Yeah.
Like, I know what I want on these, all the songs. And then when it's time, it's like, I can think of like 3 songs.
The problem is I never remember titles and artists, but I can sing every lyric.
That's how it is. Yeah, you can't never. Who sung that? Yeah. Oh my goodness!
The 4 Agreements. That's what it is. 4 Agreements by Don Miguel.
Yeah, got it. Yeah. Word. Let's get the business. Yeah. So, and of course, I love Maya Angelou. All the Goosebumps books, R.L. Stein, anything Dr. Seuss, of course, Stephen King, J.K. Rowling.
Yes.
You know,
I like all those.
The big dogs, you know, the obvious ones that stand out.
As a kid, I always loved Goosebumps because you could choose your ending. You know, like you could choose the next phase. It didn't necessarily have to go in a particular order. Right. And I loved that. That was like my favorite thing.
Two different routes you could take to the closing.
Yes.
And of course, books, you know, you got if I'm right, you have the rising climax. Which one comes in the order? The falling, then there's a falling climax, of course. I forget all that.
Mm-hmm. I'm not a fiction writer.
So, did this particular book get your early feet wet, or did it add a creative itch to come with more books following this rollout? Did it make you? I want to do more creatively.
We are going to be proposing another topic to the publishing company. So yes, it's likely another book will come soon.
Talk heavy.
And now that I've written that, I would love to do one of my own, just about my own growth, because so many people can relate to just different things in your experience. So like we might have two totally different paths, but I bet we have some similarities and growth and valleys and all of the things that life brings, because it brings it to us all. Nobody's exempt from the highs and the lows. Absolutely. Life is going to bang you. Yeah. It's going to hit you upside the head. There's so many different scenarios and situations, and you just bring used to all this information. So I appreciate you delivering it to these people. They need it. So get you a book. Go ahead and get you a copy. What can I take off your plate? Hurry up and get it. Go. So coffee or cappuccino? Oh, coffee. Nice. Yeah, black coffee. I don't want anything coffee. In it. Nothing? In cold brew. Okay, you like my grandmother. She's like, give it to me black. Yeah, no, I don't want anything in it. I like that. I tried that for a while. I'm back to the cream. I do put honey in my coffee though. Ooh, that's good. Yeah. I don't know if that's like bettering it or nothing. I don't know. It's better than sugar. Yeah. And she used to tell me, my grandma used to like put brown sugar in it instead of white sugar. Yeah. I don't know. So I try that sometimes. Nice. So which is more relaxing to read on? Sunny days or rainy days? Or it doesn't matter? When it's sunny, I want to be outside. So a rainy day is definitely like a day to cuddle up with a book. Or like when it's really cold in the winter and you don't want to be outside, that's a good day to snuggle up with a book. Right. Nice. Okay. Very well put. I like that answer. Okay. So take us into this Reiki. Yeah. Into this Reiki energy that you often promote, and that you're big up on expressing yourself toward the people with this method. So can you elaborate on Reiki energy? And to my understanding, it's an ancient Japanese practice, but could you elaborate it on a little more further? Yeah, it's honestly one of the most difficult things to explain, because the experience of it is different for every single person. So basically, it's an ancient Japanese practice that believes, I believe it's Chinese that believe in the meridians of the body, but Japanese believe in chakras, essentially. Chakras. I love that word. Okay. So there are energetic points in our body that sometimes when we're going through a really difficult time, our bodies kind of trap and store trauma. So you might not even realize it, but like if I'm doing yoga, my hips really struggle. I struggle with hip openers because that's where I carry energy. That's where energy stores in my body. And a lot of women store theirs in their hips and their gut. It's just where kind of we carry it. But basically what Reiki does is it helps clear out stagnant energy. So anything that's really no longer serving you in your body. And it's interesting because everybody's experience is different. Most people, it puts them in a really relaxed state. Absolutely. Some people might have a memory that pops up that reminds them of something that they were wanting to do or a goal. It's different for every single person. But the one thing that is the coolest thing, every single person gets up off the table and has experienced some sort of shift. Sometimes it's through tears, it's just how their energy releases from their body. And sometimes it's just like, you can see how much lighter they feel. And that's really powerful. So it's all energy driven. Like you said, chakras. It reminds me of certain music, that it brings certain energy out of you. It's those chakras that it's touching. You know, the electricity through your body, correct? Yes. So there's so much music out there on YouTube that's like a certain frequency. And it's because it hits our body different. Yes. And you can even feel certain frequencies whenever you enter a room. I don't like the frequency of the behavior of these people. So I'm leaving this room. They're not on the same frequency. If you're just aware and present when you walk into a room, you can feel it. Ooh, it doesn't feel good here, or I like it here. This feels all right. Absolutely. The vibe. You can feel that with family. When you go to a family gathering and you're like, ooh, it feels tense in here. I'm going to go find the kids' table or whatever, Wherever the location may be. Wherever. It don't matter. You can feel it. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And to me, those energies, it all connects. It all runs full circle. The spirituality of it, the energy part of it. You know what I mean? So it's very interesting. And I'm glad you elaborated on that very clearly. Nice. Thank you. Nice. So what stands out to me about this is it's relative to relaxation, meditation. Yes. It subtracts complication.
Bars. But everyone is in search of peace nowadays. Peace of mind, peace of surroundings. You know, people can hardly even sleep correctly, you know, if they don't shut their mind off soon enough. You know, so I feel like all that can go parallel into what you're teaching of Reiki.
Yeah, absolutely. And honestly, there's so much, if you are looking for all the bad, there's so much out there, and politics is awful right now, right? It's the worst. And so there's so much of that you can focus on, but there's also so much good and
yes,
and so much relaxation and mindfulness and so many tools that can help you get through days that might feel overwhelming.
Yes, that's very well said. And that should be very helpful. And there's just so many people that goes through that. You'd be surprised. There's so many people that can relate to this. And go ahead. That's why you need to book a meeting with her. Go ahead and book a session with her. You know how to get in contact with her now. So go ahead, follow her on Instagram, Lara Donnelly. And
you know what? Anybody who finds me from this podcast or reaches out, I'll do half off the first session.
You hear this? Can't beat that. So nice. Let's do it right now. So, Alexis described her Reiki that I seen on your IG. It was an example that she had, and she said 1 and 2 atonements that she had received from you as magical. Also, the coolest, craziest, and wildest experience of her life thus far. And that's a powerful statement made by Alexis right there on your Instagram, based off her true elements of experiences. So how would you describe the Reiki practice in your own words?
So Alexis is a person that I have reached a level of Reiki that I'm able to pass it on for other people to be able to practice it too.
That's amazing.
And it's really cool to be able to do that because Alexis started really using it when she was feeling really overwhelmed or really anxious. And she would just use it on herself to ground. So like if she could feel it, like her energy's ramping up, her anxiety's going through the roof, she would use Reiki on herself. And I think that's the coolest thing. You don't have to have somebody else facilitate it for you. You can do it. You can practice Reiki on yourself.
Yes.
And it's just as effective. And it's so hard to explain. But
I'm sure you have pretty personal examples too. You know what I mean?
And that's the thing. Like every single person that I have the honor of seeing and being a small part of their journey, they get up off the table and they feel different because they're open and they're willing to shift that energy and get rid of it. A lot of us unknowingly are like grasping onto it because it's what we know, and change and anything else is hard because it's scary. We don't.
And it's scary. It's scary to hold all that in, right? It's kind of like balling up stress in your chest. Correct?
It is, but almost all of us do.
Yeah,
almost all of us do it.
Yes.
So you got to get it out of there.
So everyone needs that stress relief. It's kind of like going to work out. You know, it releases that. What's the word?
Endorphins.
There you go. Endorphins. I always call them endorphins. It makes me sound like I'm trying to rhyme it with orphans or something. Endorphins. Yeah. Right. So nice. So Reiki certification class, spiritual healing tools, and how it's a consistent uphill battle of ladder, leverage, and growth. Nothing is overnight. There's a healing process, as you've mentioned in your reel. And there's a process is what I'm trying to elaborate.
There's a process. And one thing that I will say, anybody that you might seek out to receive services for and for anything, if they claim to be a healer or somebody who's going to save you, like run, because that's not what this is. Reiki is a process. Our bodies have the capability of healing. This just kind of activates that healing. I'm not a healer. I don't save people. And if somebody claims to do that, like they're not your person.
Right.
So just really be careful about who you choose to work with and feel out their energy, like scheduling a meeting or like just some time over the phone so that you can get an idea, like this is who I want to work with or this isn't who I want to work with, is so important before you allow somebody in your energetic field.
That's very informative. And you'll get a better feeling of having those feelings after this practice is what I'm getting, a feel of right now. So deleting that chronic stress and deleting that a little bit of that anxiety, like she said, she's not a healer. this is a level of release that
Yeah.
can be helpful to you. Everybody has their thing. It could be going to shoot a basketball, taking a jog, exercising, yoga, meditation. You know, things. Everybody has their thing. So
Yeah.
this is off subject and kind of petty. Chicken wings, drums or flats? Which one do you rock with?
I like both, but if I had to choose,
If you had to choose one,
flats.
Flats. The flat squad. I'm not. Any reason?
But I just feel like it's easier to get more meat off of the flats than it is the drumstick. Like I'm not trying to chew on all the bone and stuff.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Texture wise,
Yeah.
the way when you bite it, it feels more comfortable.
Yeah.
It's such a funny question, I feel like. So, do you have a favorite bookstore?
Favorite bookstore. Okay, so yes, I'm going to shout out this bookstore. It's a local one in Louisville, Kentucky. It's called Carmichael's, and it's just locally owned. But they're really intentional with what they do. Like they're not a big box store. They will deliver books to you. It's family owned and run, and yeah, it's my favorite.
Wonderful, nice. You prefer hardbacks or paperbacks or what?
Paperback.
Nice.
I don't like it to be all stiff when I'm reading, you know, like I want to.
You like when you go through the pages, like that, you like that crease.
I do, yeah.
Nice. So, do you happen to have a pet horse by any chance?
I don't, but next week I'm doing my first Reiki session on a horse.
Oh, that's what the horse. Nice, excellent. How was that experience?
Well,
you said it's coming up?
I haven't done a full session
yet. Okay, but you're going to do one
next Wednesday. Yeah. So my daughter started horseback riding and loves it, and I found myself like being so caught up with the horses in the barn that I would like miss a lot of her lessons. I'd be like, oh shoot, I better go watch her.
Horse time. Oh my goodness.
I know, but it's interesting because with animals, the Reiki energy kind of activates in my hands on its own because a horse can't ask me to do Reiki, so it kind of just starts.
I know, they say the energy. Sometimes energies go through animals. You know, like
it does.
A dog give you the beer alert system.
Dogs and horses are really good judges of energy.
Yeah,
they know if you're scared, and if they are coming near you, and they're not going to let you ride them. They know if you're a safe place to be. So while I was there, it just kind of started activating. And so I just put some feelers out, and now I've got my first Reiki session with a horse next week.
That's absolutely, that's going to be remarkable.
I'm excited.
And very unique.
This specific horse is really struggling with pain.
Okay.
So we're just going to do a few sessions and see how it helps.
Nice. What type of horse is it?
I think it's a quarter horse.
Nice. Probably pretty.
It's very
brown
pretty.
Or blackish.
Yeah, it is. It's a dark colored horse.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, discipline or motivation? Which one do you feel is more important to your everyday routine?
Discipline. Motivation's only going to get you so far. I'm a big fan of and a big believer in building habits. Like it's the biggest reason why people fail when they make New Year's resolutions because they're not already in the habit.
We hear that same thing every year. Oh, this year my
going to the gym.
Yeah,
I'm gonna get a workout. I'm gonna get back in shape.
Yeah.
Do you know what day people typically they're done with that resolution?
Probably on the day one.
Most people
they know they're lying whenever they say it.
Most people will buy a gym membership and go a couple times, and then by day 12, it's done.
Day 12?
Day 12.
I give them 7.
Yeah, probably. For most people, it's probably not even 12.
Yeah. Now, and that's a low number right there. It's nothing to be proud of.
It's not.
So that's where that discipline kicks in, right?
Mm-hmm.
The consistency behind it. Mm-hmm. Those days where I don't want to get up. I have a headache. My back hurts. My elbow hurts. We're not hearing none of it. No. So, but I understand you're all about grace, love, and compassion. You're kind-hearted and have your peace and you have calmness in class. So I understand all that about you. So
I appreciate that.
The Linktree link is up on your Instagram.
It is.
Lara Donnelly Coaching.
Yes.
Make sure you people contact her and go book you a session. She's going to be very useful, very helpful. She's here to assist you and maybe build take some of that stress off your back. What can she take off your plate? So go ahead and book a session with your girl ASAP. I love how this information is so informative, and you're willing to assist these people. You know what I mean? It's big, you know, and I want to check out some of the items that you have for sale. That's what I'm interested in right now. I'm thinking about what type of candles you have in there. All types of candles, right?
So the candles that I have are, I'm really big on intention. So if you're just going through life without just by happenstance and without like an intention, like I intend to. So all of the candles are specific intentions. So there's some that are like specifically for blessings. So like if I was really just wanting to show my gratitude for something, because a lot of us really need to pick it up on the gratitude.
Awesome. And accountability.
Yeah. Or if I wanted to do a specific like energy release, there's a candle for that. So
Awesome.
These are specific like intention candles.
That sounds brilliant. I just like sometimes to turn the light off and light the candles instead.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It adds an aura to the atmosphere.
Absolutely.
And I want to say you put together an amazing book, a nice literacy project for the people to go out. Like I said before, make sure you go ahead and get you a copy of that. Amazon is a perfect and easy, accessible avenue to get this book. Go ahead and purchase it. Low ticket, a low price on that thing. So, do you have any shout outs or upcoming events or even any more upcoming projects that you would like for the people in the back to know?
There's a lot coming up, but
she's always working on something. The work ethic is there.
Next week, the publishing company ASCD has a leadership conference in Nashville. So I will be there. If you're an educator and you're going to be there, come find me. Nashville, Tennessee. They are setting up a book chat that is coming at the end of November. So where you can just log on with us. We're going to have a little bit of conversation about the book. It's going to be very informal. I think we're all going to have our coffee on it. Nice. Or cappuccino, whatever you prefer. So yeah, you could sign up for that. And then also, if you're interested in Reiki, definitely check it out. But I will be teaching some courses on like passing on the ability to do Reiki. Haven't set an official date, but likely it will be coming.
It's coming.
Mid-November is when I'm shooting for.
It's definitely going to pop up on you. So be on the lookout for that. I appreciate you stopping by. Thank you for being so informative. It's so inspirational. We love it. I love bringing people like that on the platform. Shout out to everybody that's going through all that hurricane stuff. That's been crazy here lately. So shout out to the flood victims, to all that. If I can assist or help, please let me know in the comments. I'll send my donation. Laura?
Same. Yeah,
yes. Same with her. Thank you.
Thank you.
By. I need my book. I need my candles.
I got you.
I need a couple jump shots too.
Yeah. So interesting story. I broke my left elbow on Derby Day, May 4th. So I can shoot again, but still rehabbing that elbow.
She can still splash them and dash them though. I seen you drop about 20, 30 on somebody. I remember that. She'll slap you with 30. But no, go get that book. What can I take off your plate? Amazon and then and other resources, other avenues. Go get it. And we rocking like that. Thank you, Laura.
Thank you.
Let's get
Yo, let's get the business.